and gentlemen,
this is 3 Count Review.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
Welcome, everyone, to 3 Count Review. I am KO, a.k.a. Howard J. Dingers, and this is the Wednesday Night War edition of 3 Count Review. I'm going to start with NXT this week because I thoroughly enjoyed the NXT show. I'm not going to lie. NXT was really good. AEW was also very good. AEW Dynamite was actually a better show than it was last week. I just, for some reason, enjoy. I don't know what it is. I haven't fully gotten into the AEW show yet. I'm still very much into NXT because I've been invested in these guys on a weekly basis for a longer time. I think that's what it is. So I will get to AEW in just a second, but I want to talk about NXT first. And we open up the show with Drew Gulak defending his Cruiserweight Championship against Lio Rush. This was a great match. Of course it was. Drew Gulak is great. Lio Rush is great. This was fast. This was awesome. Lio Rush eventually hit his springboard stunner thing from the bottom rope. It looks awesome. And then he hit his frog splash, which looks awesome. For the 1, 2, 3, Lio Rush is your new Cruiserweight champion. This was awesome. I absolutely loved it. After the match, William Regal came out to put the belt around Lio. Drew Gulak came back in the ring, took the title from him, and then just gave it back. It was like a sign of respect. I don't know. It was a little, I don't know. But I love the big title change. Lio Rush is fantastic in the ring, so I'm really, really happy that he actually got this title here. It's a really good match. Next, we go to Finn Balor vignette. They showed one later in the night, too. So, and they had a Tegan Nox vignette as well. Tegan Nox will be in action next week, and I cannot wait for that. Love Tegan Nox. Anyway, they got to do something with Finn Balor soon. They haven't announced anything with Finn Balor yet. They got to do something with Finn Balor. Anyway, we got Rhea Ripley, who's another one of my favorite women's wrestlers right now. One of my favorite wrestlers right now. Don't even need to specify. Rhea Ripley defeated Aaliyah with Vanessa Bourne in her corner. Short squash match. Ripley no-sold any offense, and she looked like a killer. She applied a standing scorpion leg lock, spun around in a giant swing while still applying the hold. She dropped down into a sit-out face buster with the hold still locked in, and Aaliyah tapped out. This was awesome. The whole match was almost just the scorpion death lock, and it was awesome. I loved every second of this. This was awesome. Rhea then got on the microphone and called out NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler. She warned Baszler she was coming for her championship. Yes, please. But we'll come back to that in a little bit. Oh, I forgot about this. So all of a sudden, some weird music starts playing. And then, like, the Titantron lights up with, like, construction stuff, right? Like hazard cones and construction stuff. Just imagine construction stuff. And it was weird music. I've never heard it before. And all of a sudden, the beat drops, and the lights come on, and it's Breezango. And now they're construction workers. What? No idea. I mean, it made me laugh. I kind of popped for it. I can't even be mad about it. Anyway, they were supposed to face Ever-Rise in a tag team match, but Ever-Rise were interrupted during their entrance by Jackson Riker of the Forgotten Sons. The Forgotten Sons beat them up, so then the Forgotten Sons just took over the match. So it was Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler versus the versus Breezango, Tyler Breeze, and Fandango. Yeah, this was cool. Definitely the Forgotten Sons looked actually pretty good here. Breezango were very over. So a lot of heel heat for Forgotten Sons. All right, I'm a little tired right now. I gotta wake up. This is the good night of wrestling. I actually gotta come with it. Sorry. Riker interfered and posted Breeze. Fandango wiped him out. They tope con Hio. Tonhio. That's a mistype. Distracted with Riker. I can't even read. This is bad. Fandango fell victim to a tope from Blake. The Forgotten Sons used their Memory Remains finisher on Fandango, and Cutler covered him for the pinfall. Forgotten Sons win. I guess we're going to build up for the Forgotten Sons. I don't mind that. They're not bad. I think they need to push Jackson Riker as a single star as well as the tag team. And then they had a vignette hyping next week's main event, which is the rubber match between Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic. I can't wait for that match. If they give that match time, they need to give that match time. If you give that match time, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be great. It's going to burn the place down. I can't wait. It's just so good. I can't wait. I love Keith Lee, and Dijakovic has been amazing. I can't wait. Then we had Cameron Grimes beating Boa within seconds with a double foot stomp. The 3 count took longer than the match itself. Killian Dane ran in after the match, and Grimes quickly bailed out of the ring. He hightailed it out of there, and Dane turned his attention to Boa. Dane pummeled Boa and then delivered some Vader bombs. Dane dumped Boa on the announcer's desk, glared at the commentators, and left the scene. Cool. Not sure what we're doing with Killian Dane, but I'm kind of into it. If he just kind of randomly comes in and beats people up. Also really good on Cameron Grimes to get the hell out of there. It was good. I don't mind Cameron Grimes. I don't know why everyone's on him about his hat. It's just the hat. Get off of him. Damian Priest then narrated a video package about why he laid out Pete Dunne. Yeah. We're going to get Priest versus Pete Dunne, I think, next week. That should be a good match. Hopefully Pete Dunne wins. I'm not a fan of Priest. I want them to push Pete Dunne really hard. So, hopefully. Then we had the NXT North American Champion in a non-title match, Roderick Strong versus Isaiah Swerve Scott, which apparently is his full name, and you have to say his full name every time. Sometimes the commentators can be a little much. Strong, I don't know. This was a fantastic match. I'm not even going to try to go through spot for spot on this match because it was really fun. It was hot. It was fast. It was furious. It was just super fun. A lot of near falls. Undisputed Era came out at one point to try to build some tension. But Isaiah was actually building up a lot of, he hit a lot of big moves, a lot of near falls for Scott. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. In the end, Strong submitted Scott after a distraction by the Undisputed Era. The story was Strong was overconfident and taking Scott lightly. He paid for that, and Scott got to shine throughout the match. It was a tap out, I believe, on the Stronghold, otherwise known as the Walls of Jericho. But yeah, awesome match. I definitely suggest watching it. So, Strong Boston Crab. It's freaking Stronghold. NXT champion Adam Cole started cutting a promo when he was interrupted by the Velveteen Dream. He was on a podium up high above Full Sail. He tried to mock Strong with a naked photo of Strong doing the Shawn Michaels gimmick with the belt covering his private parts. Great picture. He posted it the day after he won it. Dream made a penis joke and showed a Photoshop picture to make fun of Strong where the belt was gone and Strong had a teeny weeny. It got a reaction in the crowd. That's all that matters. And then Tommaso Ciampa came out. He stalked to the ring to confront the Undisputed Era. They begged off and backpedaled. And then Ciampa grabbed a mic and said, "Goldie, Daddy's home." That was amazing. Love Ciampa. He said three words in the past 2 weeks since he returned, and he's the best. Oh, he actually said a couple more words here. Angel Garza was backstage flirting with Kathy Kelly while she was trying to get an interview with Ciampa. She tried to ignore him. She found Ciampa, but Garza interrupted them, so Ciampa beat up Garza and then strolled off. And he said something in Spanish, and then Kathy Kelly asked Ciampa what he said. And he goes, I don't know, and then walked away. Ciampa's amazing. Ciampa's absolutely amazing. Then we had Bianca Belair defeating Dakota Kai, which was a little sad. I thought this was going to be a good match to put over Dakota Kai. Unfortunately, I was wrong. They put over Bianca Belair, which is okay. I just really thought they were high in Dakota Kai when she was coming back. Apparently not. So I'm a little disappointing, but that's okay. Really good match. I love both of these girls. They're phenomenal in the ring. So I'm okay with. I was okay with Bianca winning, especially with what they plan on doing here. So very excited for that. It was a KOD. I think it's the Kiss of Death. Sure. But yeah, the KOD from Belair to pin Dakota Kai. Belair after the match cut a promo on Rhea Ripley. She's standing in the way of anyone wanting to face Baszler. She herself wants another match with the Jump. So what I'm guessing is we're going to get Belair versus Rhea Ripley, which is, yes, please give me more of that. Winner facing Shayna. So I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. More stuff, more vignettes. Main event. What a phenomenal match. A non-title match. The NXT UK women, the NXT UK champion. Actually, did they rename it the NXT? I don't know, whatever. The UK champion Walter versus Kushida. Phenomenal match. I'm not going to try to go through it spot for spot. It was a great match. And it went, I think, 10 minutes past the top of the hour. It was great. Walter, I've seen like 3 matches of his, and he is just so good at telling a story and putting over this little guy and like, or just his opponent. I mean, anyone's a little guy next to Walter, really, but it's hard to explain like the stories that they tell when Walter's in the ring, and you believe that that the opponent might actually win. It's just so good. If you've never seen a Walter match, go watch the Tyler Bate match from Cardiff. Go watch this match from tonight with Kushida. Pete Dunne versus Walter at NXT, or at one of the takeovers. I think it was Chicago last year. This year? Last year. This year. I don't remember. It was great though. Like, Walter's amazing. He's one of my favorite heels in the game right now. He is just phenomenal. And then he wins. He does this huge power bomb, and it looks like the match is over. The guy kicks out. And then all he does is this ripcord clothesline. And it's one of the dullest finishes ever, but that's what makes him such a boss heel. He just does a lame-ass lariat, but it gets the job done. It's not pretty, but it's effective. Walter's amazing. Kushida's amazing. This was awesome. It was a great way to end the show. Before the show closed, Kathy Kelly announced Roderick Strong versus Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship in 2 weeks. And we also get Ciampa versus Garza next week, along with Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic. Awesome. I'm loving NXT at the moment. It's great. It's been my favorite brand for a while. And yes, I love AEW and what they're doing. But right now, the NXT has a special place in my heart, especially with a lot of people that are there, specifically the Undisputed Era. But, I mean, it's been great. Speaking of AEW, let's talk about Dynamite. AEW Dynamite, looking at the timestamp quick, sorry. What did we even start off with? We started off with the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament match. Private Party versus the Young Bucks. And they were hyping this up how Private Party's a young up-and-coming team. And the Young Bucks, they helped start this company, and they're veterans now, and they created their own thing, and they're basically the number 1 seed. They're the favorites in this tournament. It was a great story going in. Awesome match. SCU was in the crowd watching this, and Angelico and Jack Evans were in the match, or in the crowd watching this. I don't think Angelico and Jack Evans are even in the tournament. That's that's okay. But this match was awesome. So many great spots. I'm gonna go right to the end where that's what it was. So all of a sudden, I think it's Matt who holds them for the Meltzer driver. If I'm wrong, someone correct me for that. But yeah, it is. So Matt and one of the private party guys were. It's not Cassidy. It's the other one. Quen. Am I saying that right? Sure. Matt and Quen were like doing some really cool stuff in the ring, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, Matt's just holding him for the Meltzer driver. And everyone was like, oh, and Nick pops up right at the same time. It was a great spot. And I literally was like, oh, well, Meltzer driver, they win 1, 2, 3. Even though I kind of, going into this match, was thinking Private Party should win this, it was a great spot. But then Cassidy pulled Nick off the apron onto the floor. Quen used the cradle on Matt for the upset win. That was awesome. Huge upset. It felt like a big upset because of the story told in the match and the story told in the ring. It was great. Private Party went into the crowd, obviously, but they move on in the tournament. I absolutely love it. Next, we had Jericho and their faction from the main event of last week, come out. And he said these men are his confidants. They will continue to work together, and they have a name. Jericho put over Sammy Guevara as a Spanish god, said he was sexy, a teenage heartthrob. He said Santana and Ortiz are killers, and that he personally recruited them, AEW. The crowd was chanting "We the People" as Jericho started introducing Jake Hagar. That's how Jericho was pronouncing it. Pretty sure it's Hager. Jericho said, "We the People sucks. It's dead. It's buried. It's a bad idea from bad creative." Awesome. That was a great spot. Great shout from Jericho. Jericho introduced the group as the Inner Circle. Prime name. Love it. He said he hates Cody and his family. He said Dusty was a jerk. Dustin is a moron, and he's going to beat Cody in Baltimore on November 9th and then celebrate in the streets of Baltimore with a little bit of the bubbly. Jericho can't help himself with the cool heel lines. Yeah, this is great. The Inner Circle. What a name. This is great. I love it. So then we had Darby Allin versus Jimmy Havoc. The winner will face the winner will face Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship next week on Dynamite. This was great. I really am warming up to these two. I've heard a lot about Darby Allin. Jimmy Havoc I've heard a lot about him too, but I've really only seen Jimmy Havoc in like extreme matches like the Cracker Barrel Clash at All Out. So to see him in just this match was really interesting to see how they incorporate the hardcore style of these two into a normal match. It was fascinating to watch. It was really cool. I love it. Excuse me. Havoc went for a lariat, but Allen bit his hand, hit a stunner, and then hit a coffin drop for the pin. Darby Allin versus Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship next week on Dynamite. I'm excited for that match. I'm really, really warming up to Darby Allin at the moment. Next, we had Riho and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I think that's what it is. And then think about it for a sec. Versus B. Priestley and Emi Sakura. This was awesome. Great story going into it. Again, I'm thoroughly impressed. Based off of last week, I had some questions. If you go back and watch my review from last week, I had a lot of criticisms and questions about AEW and their storyline and their consistency. This week, I really, really thought they improved on it. Riho was trained by Emi. So there's the connection there. And Britt Baker and B. Priestley have been feuding since AEW started, basically. And this has been, and they told the story beautifully in the match. This was awesome. I'm really warming up to Britt Baker. B. Priestley has always been one of my favorites since the first match I saw her in. And so this was awesome. Sorry, I forgot. Oh yeah, Baker hit a stunner on Sakura. Sorry, is that weird for me to on Emmy? Baker hit a stunner on Emmy. Ryoho hit the double stomp on Emmy. Then rolled outside to hold Priestley at Baby. To hold Priestley at Bay. Baker used the swinging neck breaker for a 2 count, then used her Rings of Saturn / mandible claw combo for the submission win, which is a great move for Britt Baker because she's a dentist, so she pulls at the teeth. It's awesome. I love it. Priestley and Baker got into it after the match, but what's her name? The ref. Girl Hebner. I know it's Aubrey Edwards, but Girl Hebner is a great name. Pulled them apart. Anyway, we got a best friends hype video and promo. The hype video was awesome. I absolutely loved it. And then, he was. Chuck Taylor said, "Don't ask us how we're feeling. Ask this guy." And it's just Orange Cassidy, literally like this, just sitting back in a chair, and he just gives a really lazy thumbs up. Love Orange Cassidy. Absolutely love Orange Cassidy. He's great. Can't wait to see more of him. Then we had the match I was super excited for. Jon Moxley versus Shawn Spears. Obviously for WWE fans, this is Dean Ambrose versus Ty Dillinger. Moxley Spears. I love this. This was great. The bastard Pac, speaking of WWE, formerly Neville, was on commentary. This was awesome. I loved it. I love Moxley. I love Spears at the moment. These guys are great. They traded big moves. Eventually, Spears went for his whatever his finishing move is called. Moxley interrupted it with his paradigm shift, I believe is what it's. I know it's called the Death Rider over in New Japan. I believe it's called the paradigm shift. That's what the announcers, what Tony Schiavone said tonight. So I'm going to start calling it the paradigm shift if I can remember it. If not, I'll call it the Death Rider. It's the same move. Double arm DDT. Got the pin. Awesome. This was cool. After the match, Kenny Omega came out to the ramp with a barbed wire broom and a barbed wire bat. He threw the bat to Moxley. He prepared to square off, but Pac attacked Omega from behind with the chair and left. Moxley then did not use the bat on Omega while he was down. He's not a good guy. He just didn't take his chance. He wants to beat up Omega. He doesn't want to be handed Omega. I think that's the story they're telling. At least that's the story I see. Wilson. Anyway, so the main event match of the night for AEW Dynamite was Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Hangman Page and Dustin Rhodes. You could kind of see what was going to happen from the beginning of this match. This is Dustin's first match on TV. Man, I don't know. A lot of good spots. I'm not gonna lie, I was watching Kushida versus Walter for a lot of this match, but from what I saw, it looked very good. I'm a big Page guy. Jericho's been great. Dustin actually has been really good too, and so Sammy Guevara is actually really good. I really enjoy watching Sammy Guevara wrestle. But what we saw was Jake Hager interfering a lot while he was at ringside. He was attacking Hangman. He attacked Dustin in the ring at some point. Dustin had a really hot moment before Jake attacked him. But then we saw, while Hangman was out from Jake Hager attacking him on the outside, Judas Effect elbow from Jericho to Dustin. 1, 2, 3. Jericho and Guevara started double teaming Dustin. The lights went out. When they came back on, Cody was in the ring. I didn't like that. That was a little too over the top. Just have Cody run out. Why does lights come out? Why does that needs to be saved for, I don't know, a big surprise return / debut? Orange Cassidy at All Out. I mean, anything. Cody everyone expected Cody. Everyone was chanting for Cody to come out. Everyone expected Cody to come out. He should have came out quicker. I didn't like that. He took out Guevara with a crossroads. Santana and Ortiz then came out to cut Cody off. Jericho was choking Cody with Cody's own tie. MJF came down with the chair. He teased turning on Cody with the chair, but instead used the chair on Jericho, Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz. MJF posed for the camera, but then Jericho hit a code breaker. The Young Bucks then came down. They hit the tandem rope spots to Santana and Ortiz. Dustin came to knock out Guevara. Jericho escaped and made it to the ramp. Jericho, and all this, Hager and Page fought to the back at one point. I wouldn't mind seeing Hager versus Page, actually. That'd be a really cool match. So while Jericho is on the ramp posing, all of a sudden Darby Allin comes skateboarding down the ramp, and then he jumps off the skateboard and hits a high knee on Jericho. Super cool spot. Obviously hyping the match for next week, Darby Allin versus Jericho. He then hit Jericho with the skateboard, and he posed with the Elite in the ring. Jericho took the mic and said he'll see Cody on November 9th, and he'll see Darby Allin next week. It's your funeral, bitch. Great stuff. Great stuff. Again, and it's a note here, too. The main event is a little too busy for me. Like, last week it was good. It was the first episode, and it was the debut of Hager. This week it just felt like way too much. Way. To clean that up. I think really clean that up. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And apparently this guy's too. Just a little too busy. I didn't mind it, but it's going to get old if they keep doing that, because that's 2 weeks in a row now that this Inner Circle is beating people up to end the show. And I get it's Jericho. He's your world champ, so I know. Just change it up a little bit. I know it's only 2 weeks. I'm being a little harsh, but anyway, that was AEW and NXT. Please let me know what you thought of both of the shows down in the comments below. Yeah, hit me up on Twitter. They're over here, I think. They're over in one of these corners. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. Follow all the podcasts down in the description below. All the links are there. Merch on Redbubble. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I'll be back on Friday for SmackDown this time. I promise I'll actually be there for SmackDown this time. I promise. SmackDown this week. I'll be there. Very excited. And I will see you for the next 3 Count Review.
Pulling up strong, I'm nearly one. I might be 2 on. Wishing this side I could feel